On today's episode, r/PettyRevenge, where a woman loses $25,000 because she was mean. Our next Reddit story is by Master Ranger 4729. Back in the late 90s, early 2000s, I had my first job working at a supermarket, now defunct, thank God. It was awful, and the reasons were, and not limited to, being made to clean fixtures with a toothbrush, threatened with pay deductions if I was too slow, told to pick up pieces of rubbish off the floor before I could go home, general name-calling from the supervisor. All this for a whopping £2.50 an hour. And I was only 16. I'd never worked before, and coming from a very rough school, I thought this was the world of work. One day, a kid from my class came in with his girlfriend and a baby. I was scanning their items and making conversation, but the diapers wouldn't scan. I briefly looked around and saw no supervisor on duty, probably in the back pissing about, so I just didn't scan it. The kid from my class didn't realize. I saw him a few times after this, and each time I wouldn't scan any of the baby items. This snowballed into other customers who bought baby-related items. I suppose it felt good helping people out, but it was also partly to do with the way the supermarket culture allowed for bullying in the workplace, especially just to a kid like me at the time. Every time I drive past now, where it used to be, I remember not the time I was subjected to above, but glad the company had been put to an end. I love stories like this, but there are kind of some moral gray areas, like technically you are stealing from the company. I don't know if the owner of the company was an asshole to you, but obviously your supervisors were and they allowed it. But you're kind of like Robin Hood in this situation, like stealing from the rich to give to the poor. Who knows if the people that you were helping were actually poor or if the store itself was rich, but you know what I'm trying to say. You helped a lot of people in your community, and I'm sure even if they didn't thank you at the time, they definitely appreciated it. Good on you, OP. Our next Reddit post is by What Do You Want? Now you want a job? I don't think so. I was poor my entire life, up to and including graduate school. I was working at 3 jobs, had an internship, and was finishing up classes my last year. I honestly don't know where I found the time looking back. Anyhow, as a poor student, I didn't have access to all the right tech for a class project. The library had some, but they were in such demand it was difficult to get. So as soon as I knew what I needed, I asked a classmate, call her Penny, to help me out, and she agreed. I'd checked with Penny a few times prior to the meeting, and we were good to go. As you probably guessed, Penny doesn't show. She doesn't answer texts, calls, or emails. I frantically tried to get into the library, but it was a 2-week wait, so I can't. I emailed my professor for an extension, and he denies it. She did the damn assignment without me. I ended up with a B in the class, which is not good in grad school. About 2 years later, I'm working in our field, and Penny applies. She gets through an interview or two, and then has a group interview. I'm there. She tries a friendly approach with me that I shrug off. When decision time comes, I pull hard for another candidate. I even shared the story about her screwing me over. I'm pretty sure that's why we went with the other person. This is such a classic story about somebody doesn't help you and then they need your help in the future. It happens so many times. It's such an obvious thing. Just be nice to people and they'll be nice to you. You have no idea where you're going to be in the future and where they're going to be in the future. Why not help someone out when you have the ability to? But if somebody doesn't help you out, why would you help them out? No, OP, I think you did exactly what you should have in this situation. I would have done the same thing. Screw you, Penny. Our next Reddit post is by Dalla Gary. An ex-acquaintance insulted my appearance publicly, so I made sure she wouldn't get a $50,000 prize. We'll call her Missy. I imagine if she has read it, which I'm pretty sure she does, and she finds this, she'll know regardless it's about her. Missy and I were never officially friends. Our best friends were friends, and often the 4 of us would go out together. Missy was just rude in general, and often made snarky comments when I would try to engage in conversation with her. She liked being the smartest one in the room, if that's a good way to put it. When our friends went separate ways, so did we. I never heard from Missy again. That was until I joined a Facebook group. The Facebook group belonged to a certain large fandom at the height of the fandom becoming a TV show on Netflix. Several people posted their cosplay photos, so I posted mine. All around good comments and everyone was very kind. except one in particular I recognized. Missy. She had commented and insulted my makeup skills and laugh reacted to the photo and went as far as insulting my gender. I am female to male and my cosplay was a male character. I responded to reintroduce myself to her. She was shocked it was me and I tried playing nice and asked how she was. She ended up blocking me. A few months later, I saw her husband post something on Facebook about Missy being in the running for a huge social media contest, and she was actually in the top 50. The prize? $25,000. I checked out her profile on the contest site, and it was self-written, speaking about how kind she is and how non-judgmental she is. I had a good laugh about it. Then, I found out you can vote multiple times a week, multiple times for each contestant the remaining 8 weeks of the contest. So, I decided to dedicate myself to ensuring she wouldn't get the prize and be the face of the non-judgmental girl of the year, and voted against her every single day, multiple times a day, for 8 weeks. She was knocked out of the running halfway through the 8 weeks due to low numbers. Missy, if you're seeing this, you will know it was me. Don't be a witch. Man, OP, this is gold. This is perfect. She wants to portray that she's this non-judgmental, perfect flower of a woman just to win $25,000, and you ensure that she doesn't win $25,000. That's life-changing amounts of money for people, and obviously she didn't deserve it. If instead of her being so evil to you, she was nice to you, you would have ensured that she did win. If you dedicated yourself this much to make sure she didn't win. If she was so nice to you and you guys were friends, you would have ensured that she did win. It was all her fault that she lost out on an opportunity for $25,000. If anyone listening needs more incentive to just be kind to strangers, not even strangers, be kind to everybody. This person wasn't a stranger. Just be kind. It may earn you $25,000. But even if it doesn't, just be kind for free. It costs nothing. Our next post is by NoSyllabub4264. For a while, I've been noticing a lot going on at work. I was quite happy in the late shift, but was moved into an early shift a while ago. Boss mentioned I'd be back in the late shift soon. It didn't happen. My colleagues are mad I got a few cents more pay in the late shift, so called it a shady pay raise. They do have an option to move into a late shift, but they don't want to. So, I was kept in early shift. It made me a little angry. My boss was absolutely amazing, so I decided my petty revenge should not hurt him or my job. My plan? I knew I was better than most at my job, so I almost doubled my effort without letting my quality drop. I did a new speed record. They don't want me to get a raise for my late hours, so let's get something more permanent. In 2 weeks, I normalized the speed I felt possible to keep up. And why it failed? I let the boss know about the speed record. I modified a certain tool to make my job easier and thus faster. Boss was happy and amazed. Before the next payday, our union blew everything up. Raises are freezed, no overtime allowed. They're planning strikes and nobody knows when things are getting back to normal. F my luck. This story's just weird to me. I don't understand why your coworkers would be mad that you're getting more money when they have the option to make more money by either switching shifts or, I don't know, use that as a bargaining chip. Hey, he's getting paid this much for the same work. Can we all get paid that much for the same work? I don't know. It's weird that they're getting mad at you instead of getting mad at the people that actually pay them. And then on top of that, the union, who's usually there to help employees, is now making it so there's no pay raises and they're going to strike and all that. So clearly something else is going on that they want to strike for, but it's weird that they would freeze raises unless that's the company doing that and not the union. I'm not sure how this works, but you are doing the right thing by just trying harder at your job and making it easier for you, really. If you can make your job easier while making the same amount of money, that is at least a good place to be in, and hopefully after all these strikes and stuff, you end up with better pay, better benefits, and all that. So I would just keep grinding. But I am sorry your revenge failed. I hate hearing when a revenge fails. I hope this episode encourages listeners to just be kind, simply to be kind. It might pay off in the end. Anyway, If you like this kind of content, I'd appreciate a like, a comment, and a subscription to the channel. See you next time.